how's anything safe anymore for us to go anywhere? You go to a library, you can get shot. You go to a movie theater to watch a movie, you can be murdered. You go to a grocery store to buy groceries and you can get shot and killed in the parking lot. A store can get held up and you can get lose your life. Schools. There are so many school shootings that a lot of schools have put in cameras and metal detectors. Doesn't matter. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And statistically, it's showing that they have increased over the years. College shootings happens all the time. What are we living in? What is this world? Because when I was younger, I did not remember hearing all this. Now, I come from an age that I was a senior in high school when the whole Columbine school shooting happened, and I got scared after a group of people, particularly one guy that I went to school with, threatened to do the same thing, and I actually didn't go to school the next day because I was afraid for my life, and I was afraid something was going to happen. Violence isn't right, and the heinous act that happened in Roanoke, Virginia yesterday, the people that were killed, that's not right. I cannot understand. I can't even fathom how people can be like that. Jamie came home and told me about a shooting that happened in our neighborhood, one of the back neighborhoods, the other night. It could have been the night I heard something. I hear stuff all the time. It wasn't my house, but you hear things, sound travels through the neighborhoods. Violence in our world is getting to be too much. The kid from the Aurora, Colorado, who killed those people in the movie theater, he just got life plus um I don't know, 12 or 13 life sentences. He's going to spend life in prison. Now, I saw his picture and I looked at it a couple times because the kid that you saw in the beginning of all this and this guy right now, they barely look like the same person. You know, mental illness is something to not be joked about. The people that tell you that they're going to do something or the ones that are really quiet are the ones you should worry about. Now, I know some people in this world that I'm fearful that they're going to wind up doing something like that. I'm fearful that they're going to finally do all they can take one day and do something, and it scares me because it shows that somebody who could be so gentle can be so hateful and so just the opposite. Um, since 9/11 happened, you can't go to the gate at an airport to meet somebody unless you're getting on a flight. Or you buy a ticket and hopefully you can get it refunded. I don't know if you can anymore. I don't know how that stuff works. I haven't flown since pre 9/11, and all the security measures that they have now, I'm scared to. It's fear taking over. You know, when I was little, my dad was stationed all over the world. We were overseas for a while, and whenever the threat would be high, they would lock the gates, and it was extra security. You could get on and off, but you had to have extra documents and stuff. It was always a big deal. It was harder to um, get around. I mean, around the base mostly it was okay, but coming on and off the base that was the concern. Well, I remember that I don't know if it was because of the Gulf War or what was going on, but I was in Germany and I used to deliver newspapers. And the way that our base was set up is we lived in an apartment building, and you go out the back and down the sidewalk, and there's takes you into the old part of town. It was attached to the base. It was an annex. It used to be some of the buildings during the war times, and like I don't know if it's World War II or something. I don't remember all the, excuse me, the battles and stuff that were over there. But there was a gate there that they locked, and then there was a gate. I'm sure there was entrances to other parts of the base, but it wasn't a huge base. It really wasn't that big. Um, there were they would lock the gates. Well, I remember a particular time I was delivering newspapers, and the way that I did it was I would go out one gate and I would walk, or I think at one point I was on crutches because of I had hurt my foot or something, and I would go around the outside of the base and cut through um the other gate instead of going all the way down. I would do part of my route, then I would go around and come back through. Well, I remember that when it was during these times, I used to have my ID card with me. I had to make sure that I had any kind of documentation, and if there was any problems that I knew how to get, they knew how to get a hold of my dad because my dad's in the military, and my dad worked at the radio station, TV station, and such. So, I just remember it wasn't as easy just walking off the base, and there were guards there and everything. Sometimes you could just walk on and off the base, certain sections of it, and be, not that bad. Or there was a way, if you were on foot, you could just go out a little gate and go around. But when it was these times where we had, I guess they increased the threat com or whatever, that meant that they were defending us, that it would be a lot harder to get around. It shouldn't have to be that way to live in this world. We should be able to get through, and people should be kinder to one another. All this bullying that's leading to all these countless killings and stuff is wrong. And, mental illness is running rampant in our country, and what are we doing about it? We're just putting them on more drugs. Why not get to the root of the problems? Why not figure out what's causing them and see about that before we just find yet another pill to put somebody on? I mean, in the end, maybe it might calm the people down, but how do you know that those pills that you're putting people on aren't what's causing them to go out there and kill or harm somebody else or themselves? You don't know the effects of those for later in life. I'm angry because innocent people, are dying just because somebody can't get it together or somebody's mad at somebody else. We need a day of peace. We're never going to have that, but I wish there was peace on earth. I wish we could all get along and nobody would be hateful and angry and cruel. But our world is getting harder and harder to live in like this. And, it's every other day I'm hearing some story about somebody who got killed, and it's not right. So that's just my opinion. I'm going to close this for now. Have a good one.